Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on November the 7th, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual here, we'll get started with our economic calendar. So we'll go to Forex Factory here. In terms of the data that came out, we didn't have much of red data here. Had some orange ones, but PMI numbers here came in positive for the euro, as well as the US PMI numbers here were also, we didn't have PMI numbers, where was it? Okay, US numbers were positive as well. Coming up here shortly, we do have trade balance numbers for Australia here. If the numbers are as expected, or they meet the expectations or above expectations here, that will be positive for Australian dollar, and we could see Aussie dollar go up as a result. Before we move on to tomorrow coming up news events, another thing that happened today was around US and China trade negotiations. So there were comments that came out where they have not been able to agree to, the trade deal. So they were supposed to sign phase 1 of trade deal this month here in November, but it has been pushed back to December now. So that was negative for the markets. We saw yen crosses drop as a result. And we'll take a look at indices here. But so that was that is not good, because everybody was counting, or the market was counting, on this trade deal. And then we, another kind of glitch there also was that they don't want to sign it in the US. So overall, we could see a negative impact on the equity markets as a result of this, and a positive impact on safe haven assets. So keep that in mind. Coming up here on Thursday, we do have some important numbers. The first one is our Euro economic forecast here. So this is basically looking at what we are, or what the bank is expecting, central bank is expecting in 2020 in the Eurozone, as well as going forward. So these economic forecasts, if we see negative, or if we see cut in the forecasted value, so let's say in 2019, they had forecasted a certain value, and now they are revising it lower, that would be negative for the euro. So keep an eye on that. We also have Bank of England monetary policy statement here. We're not expecting any interest rate cut. It's expected to stay the same. Now, the concern here, or the thing to pay attention to here, would be the comments that come out. So if they talk about any kind of concerns in regards to overall global economic conditions or anything like that, that will have a negative impact on a British pound, because then the market will start expecting Bank of England to actually take some action as well. So far, Bank of England is just in status quo. They're not making any changes. So if the commentary remains that way, it won't really have much of an impact on British pound. But if they are positive somehow, then expect British pound to go up as a result. So let's see how that comes up tomorrow. We also have Bank of England, Governor Carney speaking right after the monetary policy. It's always 30 minutes after the policy comes out. So this is where, if there is a reaction here, we see a secondary reaction right after, when, or during the speech. So though that's something to keep in mind. We also have monetary policy statement from Reserve Bank of Australia. So at this point, they were not very dovish. So if they, again, maintain the status quo here, not really expecting much of a change. However, if they say that things are stabilizing and they are okay with the way the forecasts stand, and they're confident about the economy, that would then have a positive impact on Australian dollar. So we'll keep an eye on that. We also have trade balance numbers out of China. the Chinese trade balance numbers tend to have an impact on New Zealand dollar as well as Australian dollar, because both of those countries are big trade partners with China. So keep an eye on those two when the numbers come out. So that's it in terms of the news that we have coming out. So let's go on to our charts now. All right, so we'll start off with euro dollar as usual. Yesterday, we had talked about this being euro dollar being bearish. So today we have this bearish pin bar. Price did go up to do a retest at this previous level here, and then we saw price drop. Right now, as things stand, price hasn't broken the low of yesterday's candle, but it went and held below 1.1100. So that's a good sign. So bias is bearish, and I'm looking for price to drop into the base of this candle here. So bearish bias here. Do watch out for a pullback. We could get a retest of the same level, or we may get a tiny pullback. So either way, I would keep this 1.1100 level in view. But overall, looking for a drop. Target is 1.1020, and only if it goes through that level would I look for the next one, which is 1.100. So bias here is bearish for euro dollar. Next one is pound dollar here. Yesterday we had an indecision candle here, but we had talked about how if price stays below 1.2920, looking for a drop. There was a bit of a pullback here, but we have a nice bearish candle close. So I'm looking for price to drop further here. In terms of the pullback level, I will look towards 1.2880. So looking for a bit of a pullback and then a drop. And the target would be this level here into the support level at 1.2800. So bias is bearish, and if it gets through that level, then we have this entire move that could start to get filled. In that case, the second target here, we are looking for this type of a move. The second target would be 1.2720. So bias is bearish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one is interesting. We do have a neutral candle close. Price is into support at the moment, but we do need to see it break below our pin here from this candle, because today price tried to break below, but it couldn't hold below. So at this point, we do need to see a move below the support level for this to continue lower. At this point, it is still in the range here. It hasn't committed below the range. So my bias, overall bias, is bearish, but today's candle close is neutral here. What we need to see for the bearishness or bearish momentum to come in is a break below the support and then pull back and a hold, and then looking for a continuation. So if we do not get this break, so let's say price does what it did today, it goes down and comes back up, then it could go. So if it doesn't hold below 0.6870, it could go all the way back up. So this is what we have to be careful about. So if you are looking at trading Aussie, just be mindful of that. But it's neutral to bearish bias. We do have a lower high here, so I will look for price to drop. First target is 0.6850, then 0.6800. So bias is bearish for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this is bearish here as well. Not much of a move in New Zealand dollar today. I was looking for a bigger move right into the support, but we do have a bearish candle. So looking for a further drop here. Target is 0.6320 and then 0.6280 back into this level here. So bearish bias for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here. Today we have a bullish candle close. Price tested into this support level here, and now we have a bullish candle. So looking for price to go higher towards the top of this range. So bullish bias 1.3200 for dollar CAD. All right, so let's take a look at our commodities now, starting off with our silver. So silver, yesterday we were looking for a drop. We did get that drop, and then price turned at 17.36 here. So we do have a bullish pin bar here. What I would look for would be a move higher. And in this case, the target here would be 17.80. So I'm looking for price to go a little higher and see if we can get a follow through here. And then if it doesn't go through, it could still come back. But in the immediate, for the immediate one, I'm looking for a bit of a bullish move. Do keep in mind though, this is into resistance. So this is where price has struggled previously. It had trouble going to the downside. So this one could have trouble going through it to the upside. So just be careful. Many times this level has come into play, as we can see with all this chop around this level. So basically what I'm saying is, if price is not, bias is bullish, but if it does not break through 17.60, chances are this could drop further. And in that case, we could have this follow through move to the downside. But because bias is bullish, I will look for a deeper move here towards 17.80. So bias is bullish with caution, and 17.80 is the level we're looking for. Gold here, gold is also at an interesting level. Yesterday we talked about how this was right into support here. So now we have a bullish candle close. So I will look for price to, I will look to see if we can get a follow through here. So bullish bias, target is 1500. Now, again, if you look at this level though, see how price has struggled. We also had a bullish candle close here, but it just couldn't get through. We had another bullish candle, it couldn't get through. So it could get stuck again. And that's something we have to watch out for. If price goes into today's high and doesn't get through, it could come back down. So that's the caution. But it is bullish bias. Target is 1502, so 1502 will be the target. So bullish bias for gold. Oil here, price struggled with this support resistance level. It tried to break through, couldn't hold, and now we have a bearish engulfing candle here. So looking for price to drop further, we could get a bit of a pullback into this level here, and then looking for a drop. So bias is bearish, and in terms of our pullback here, 56.80 is the level I would look for, and then drop into 55.50. So bias is bearish here for oil. And actually below here, we are looking at second target would be 54.80. Copper here, same thing. Copper couldn't hold above this support resistance level, and we see a drop. So bias is bearish now. And our target, the first target here is 2.60, and second target is 2.58. So bearish bias for copper as well. Bitcoin still going sideways here, very, very small move. Overall though, slight bearishness here. So this one could move towards our support level here, again into 89.60. And if it doesn't go through, then back into the range here. So slight, very slight bearish bias, but overall it is neutral. It's just trading in this range. So just looking for price to come back towards the bottom of the range at 89.60. Okay, let's take a look at equities here. What's going on with our equities? Equities are range bound at the moment. So for last 3 days, this is where price has been trading. They did dip into support. Yesterday, we were looking for price to drop. It dropped, but then since then, it has bounced back up. So now we have opposite of this candle, which is the bullish pin bar. So I will look for price to go towards 3080, the top of this little range that price is forming now. So bias is bullish here. Now, do keep in mind, though, the comments that we are getting with the US and China negotiations, if those comments stay sort of concerning, then this one is likely to drop. So keep that in mind. It is at all-time highs, and without really any kind of further push to the upside, we could just see price drop as people close out their positions. That's the only thing I would keep in mind here. For now, though, tomorrow in the near term, price is bullish here, and we could see a move higher. So 30.80 will be the target, and if it doesn't go through, basically I'm looking for a move back then. Bullish bias, 30.80 is the target. Nasdaq here, this one is, yesterday we were looking for a drop. We got that drop right into our target level here. So, but price is pulled back from there. It's just sideways. So bias here is neutral. There is no real strong momentum in either direction. So right now I will look for a retest again of 81.40 level. So neutral bias for Nasdaq here. And then we have our Dow. Dow is again going sideways for the last 3 days, just kind of holding its position. What I would look for here would be what price does with today's candle. So we did see that price had dropped, but it has bounced back. So if it could come back and retest this 27,400 level again, that's what I'm looking for. Now, if it holds above that level once again, then we're going higher, because this is then starts to form a bullish move then. So for now, it is neutral to bullish here. I would just look for a retest. If it holds above, then this is going higher. So bullish to neutral is the bias for Dow Jones. DAX here, still looking bullish. Next target is 13,250. So bullish bias for DAX. Footsie here, also looking bullish. I will look for price to go higher towards this level at 74.40. So bullish bias for Footsie. Nikkei here, this one is neutral. We have a completely neutral candle with pins on both sides and price open and closed at pretty much the same level. This one could go in either direction. What we are looking for here is to see how price reacts. So if price goes into today's high and then doesn't break it, then we could see it drop again. So something like this. Right, so this is what we could see. So watch out for that. Now, if price does go through, Now, if price goes through, then we could see it go to the next level at 23,450. Right now, though, bias is neutral. All right, so that's all we have for today's analysis. Have a great trading day, and I will see you tomorrow.